Hello friends, I didn't just gather the sexy lineup behind me for no reason. Today we will figure out which car is suitable for which task, because they are all four-seater, all four-door, all with a front trunk and a rear trunk. And they are all absolutely different, yes. In this lineup, we do not consider the Cybertruck, and we do not take into account custom projects that we also do, which are highly specialized, because people who need a Cybertruck will buy it anyway. Because they need to transport something in the trunk, or they want to get the latest triangular car. When the Cybertruck flips over, which side will it land on? The front or the back? All these cars are quite similar. And the problem is that people often choose them based on very strange criteria, such as having ridden in one of the cars that a neighbor or a friend owns. Later, the person buying the car realizes that it doesn't really suit them. It's not very clear which of the Tesla models would be the right choice for them as their next vehicle. Therefore, from the very beginning, it is important to categorize them based on handling, responsiveness, and what to expect from them. Because we have 4 cars, but in reality, there are only 2 platforms. I specifically arranged them not by the letter sex, but by Model Y and Model 3, because they share the same platform. And on the other hand, we have the S and X. These platforms differ in how you will experience these cars. That is, from the very beginning, it turned out that the Model S was the first car that Tesla released to the mass market, so to speak, and it had a very strong genetic influence from Mercedes cars. It's not that anything physical was imported there. It was more like some buttons, the steering wheel rim, and something else. But at the same time, Tesla tried to emulate Mercedes, specifically in terms of the ergonomics of the interior and the responsiveness of the accelerator pedal. Many of you, those who have driven a Mercedes, know about a specific characteristic of Mercedes cars. They are all quite fast. Well, they used to be for sure. But the accelerator pedal is quite heavy. In other words, to gain acceleration, you need to show the car that you want to go fast. This is what the first Model S took on, and I am very glad that they continued this story. We will touch on the Model S separately later, but it is important to understand that the S and X are not cars designed for fast driving. They were made to be as comfortable as possible for travel. They do not encourage you to drive faster on a daily basis. So, if you prefer a driving experience similar to that of a BMW, then the Model 3 and Model Y would suit you better because they are specifically tuned for that. They are designed for you to drive faster. The handling in the Model 3 and Model Y is more responsive, and you will feel this all the time. The same goes for the suspension. All S and X models come with air suspension, while all Model 3 and Model Y models come with coil springs. The Model 3 is a sedan. And that is its main drawback for me, because overall the car is magnificent, it is tuned excellently, and it is enjoyable to drive, sometimes allowing you to zip through the city faster than traffic rules would suggest. For me, the Model 3 is about the absolutely perfect car, if only it were in a station wagon body. So there is this render circulating on the internet, featuring a sleek shooting brake style body. This body shape would be perfect for the Model 3. It would definitely be a hit in Europe, as people there love such cars. It is clearer now that the trend is moving towards crossovers, and it may not be practical to keep this car as a sedan. For those who need a fast car where you sit almost on the floor and feel the road and the turns, that is exactly what a modern Subaru should have been. A modern BMW could have been that kind of car as well. Fast, precise, with sharp handling and powerful acceleration. This is especially true for the Model 3, particularly the Performance Model 3, which will soon appear on this channel. I am really looking forward to driving it. To be honest, the Performance Model 3 is probably the most interesting car in the entire Tesla lineup, and I am eagerly anticipating it even more than I once looked forward to driving the Cybertruck, to be honest. Are you young or do you feel young? You don't need to carry anything extra. Do you love fast driving? The Model 3 is your car. Now let's move on to the Model Y. This is a pumped-up Model 3 from the inside. In other words, this is a car that has been inflated, and inflated until it reached a size where everything could fit inside. Surprisingly, this is my least favorite car in terms of proportions and how it looks on the road. But if it has 21-inch wheels, it actually looks quite good. The paradox is that this is the most popular car in my family because my wife drives a Model Y, my father drives a Model Y, and my brother drives a Model Y. Which Model Y would I not recommend? Definitely, I would not recommend the performance version. Because if you want to drive fast, please take the Model 3. By purchasing the Performance Model Y, you will get a stiffer suspension and won't experience the same acceleration effect. Nor will you enjoy cornering as much. Therefore, the ideal car for me is the regular long-range Model Y. If you want to look cooler, you can put on performance wheels. The suspension will be softer, and the wheels won't diminish that effect too much. Overall, this is the option I chose for my wife, as she drives a regular long-range Model Y, but with performance wheels from the 21 model. It looks great, I mean the car, and my wife does too. It's comfortable to drive, and when we go somewhere as a family, we take this car because you sit higher, your legs don't stretch out forward, and because of that, there is more space in the cabin. Although the Model Y is a few centimeters shorter than the Model 3, it appears much larger on the road. In reality, it is slightly shorter. Therefore, the Model Y is our favorite car for traveling. If you have a large family, if there are 7 of you, you can also buy the 3-row Model Y. You can easily toss small children into the 3rd row. Reliability. We will touch on it when we cover all the others, but I will say in advance that the Model Y is currently the most optimized, most reliable, and most advanced car in the Tesla lineup. In my personal opinion, the Model S is the most outstanding car that Tesla is currently making. Why do I think so? Because, first of all, it is a completely new car. Specifically, this car is from the year 2024. If you are looking for a car that is maximally comfortable for everyday use, with a comfortable suspension and good acceleration, just 1,000 horsepower available in the Plaid version can make some people take it to the track. And it's a pathetic sight. This car is not ready for the track, which makes me very, very happy. It is a soft, cool, fast car for comfortable driving. Basically, all of them from this entire lineup have a range of 300 miles. What adjustments are we making compared to the previous Model S? In other words, the previous Model S was suitable for our family. It was suitable for a family that leads an active lifestyle. Large, huge, because it's a liftback. A huge trunk, you can fit everything in there. You don't need a station wagon if you have a liftback like the Model S. And a huge front trunk, it can hold everything. A wonderful car for traveling. I have driven the Model S for probably about 30,000 kilometers in total during my travels. I love this car, and I hope that soon, or at some point in the future, there will be an opportunity to travel again with my family in this Model S or a similar Model S. Because right now, we are not in a period where we can take vacations. We strive to work and develop our company both in the USA and in Europe. The Model S of 2024 is really cool because it is suitable for the rear passenger. Thanks to their competition with Lucid, they completely redesigned the rear seat, and now the rear seat is positioned slightly further back, a bit deeper, with more comfort, a convenient armrest, charging ports, and an additional display. In other words, this is a car that is well suited for being driven by a chauffeur. Model X used to take its platform from Model S, but now Model X shares its platform with Model S. Therefore, the current Model S is wider precisely because it uses the platform of Model X. Did this yield a positive result in terms of the reliability of Model X, in the sense that you will never have any problems with this car at all? Well, it did not yield any results at all. This is the same Model X as before, which can suddenly have a button stop working, or suddenly have the arch come loose because you accelerated to 160, 170. Just as a sudden error could arise before due to a loose wire somewhere, it can still happen now because this car is primarily made at the Fremont factory. This is one of the oldest Tesla factories. The car is very, very complex. There are a lot of various motors and components in it that drive everything. A huge number of sensors are in operation. Because of this, with such a volume of smart devices gathered together, it is naturally very easy to make mistakes. I do not justify the company Tesla. It seems to me that for a price of 100,000, cars could be assembled a little better. But on the other hand, they show us the new Model 3, which is built just perfectly. I believe that right now in the automotive industry, there is nothing that compares to the interior and quality of the new Model 3. I will praise it further in the test and review of the Model 3 performance. As for the Model X, especially its plate version, the plate version only comes in a 6-seat configuration. This means that the 2 rear seats do not fold down, and you can't really benefit from having such a large vehicle because you can't fold down the rear seat and put anything in there. No, the rear seats always look nice as buckets, and if you want to put something bulky, you have to take some other car. There is honestly not a single task, a specific task, for which the Model X plate is suitable. And from this, the conclusion is drawn about who will buy such a car. And the answer is, I will buy such a car. And why this car is used by me, I will definitely make a separate video if you, of course, like this. Let's gather 1,000 likes and discuss why and for whom the Model X Play is needed. On the reliability scale, I would rank these cars as follows. First place goes to Model Y, which is, in my opinion, the most reliable car because firstly, it hasn't undergone a recent facelift. This is a car that has been gradually refined since the beginning of its production. From 2019, they have been gradually refining it. They come out of the factories in Texas or Germany. These are really cool cars that hardly have any flaws, and practically nothing falls off them. They require almost no attention. In second place, in my opinion, is the Model 3. Since this is a new car, there have already been issues such as the interior trim gradually not looking normal, meaning that some white spots are appearing. I have seen the eyelashes burn out in these new narrow headlights. I have seen something start to knock in the suspension unexpectedly. Often, Tesla does not attach the suspension properly from the factory. Therefore, when you buy a new car, make sure to take it somewhere to have the suspension tightened, because it is normal for something to come loose and potentially lead to some troubles. So definitely be careful. Well, naturally, since you have already heard about the XS trend, this gives us a confident third place. The car, in general, does not cause any particular troubles, but over time, something in the cabin may start to creak, especially from the new rotating display. This is frustrating, as whenever something new is added, you have to expect it might have some issues.
This is practically a new car. Nothing has been done here.
And the Model X has more soul than one might desire. This means that it will require more attention from you to its soul than you would like. Yes, it is an amazing car, and we will talk about it in the next video, where I will explain what my task is for this car, because each of these cars has a specific task. I hope you have determined which car suits your task the best. All that's left is for you to find our contact information and get in touch with us so that one of these cars can be yours. We'll see you in the next videos. Good luck. Bye.